McCord, and welcome to The Real Deal on thestir.com. This week we've got Vogue covers and music videos and award shows and housewives everywhere. They're on Dancing with the Stars. They're filming Celebrity Apprentice. And don't forget, we've also got the Atlanta Gals Escape from Mexico, part 2 of the Beverly Hills reunion, and the Real Housewives of What Did You Expect? I mean, New York. Let's dive right in, shall we? First, NeNe leaks his turn on Dancing with the Stars. She did the jive, and Greg loved it. That's his favorite dance. Mama pulled a 21. That's good, but with all those 25 scores out there, plus Mr. Big Time Naked Rush stripping off during his salsa, I think NeNe's got a work cut out for her. She's going to have to do something drastic if she wants to make it more than a couple of weeks. So, back on the Atlanta Housewives. They are all still down in Mexico, and Kenya Moore is still trying to run the show. I hated this part. I really did. Because the women and Phaedra showed up late and didn't realize that Apollo had, in fact, shut Kenya down. But because they didn't get it, the whole storyline got a second wind, which is not what you want at 2 o'clock in the morning when you just want to go to bed. Apollo did a smart thing, followed by a phenomenally stupid thing. First, the smart thing. He left. Best way to prove to everyone else that Kenya has been shut down is by leaving. But then, he went back to the party and left his wife locked out of their hotel room? All the morning after flowers in the world will not make up for that. Apollo was winning and then he lost it. Don't you wonder what's going on in their house right now? I mean, first of all, they've got Apollo's legal issues to deal with, and then the loss of Phaedra's spinoff, and now they're seeing this all play out on TV? Oof, I hope no one gets killed. Next, in Mexico, Kenya has another bright idea. Let's recreate the pajama party! Everybody raise your hand if you think this is a good idea. No? Right. Kenya and the producers think it's a good idea. The rest of the cast clearly look like they would rather have an organ removed without anesthesia. But here's the difference between reality and reality TV. If you say that you don't want to play one of these party games, you could get fired. So they all saddle up and get ready to play 20 questions again. Kenya proves that she can out-talk Portia again. But Portia made one point loud and clear. Kenya has never been married, so whatever went on in Portia's marriage, she knows. Kenya doesn't. The men are shooed away, and this is where we need to talk about Peter Thomas. Whew. Peter has been the Greek chorus of the last few weeks, and I love it. This week he called Kenya out twice. First, she tried to revise history, retelling the discussion with Apollo, and Peter said, well, that's your version. Then, when she said, let's create the pajama party over again, Peter said, oh, you mean the one you effed up? Oh, at this point, we love Peter. Now, the men leave, and for some reason, Greg misremembered the conversation between Peter and NeNe at Kenya's disastrous masquerade ball. Luckily, we see in flashbacks that NeNe approached Peter, not the other way around. Peter did not pounce on NeNe, he did not attack her, he didn't chase her. NeNe can cry foul all she likes, but she invited Peter's words at the ball that night. And now we come to the worst thing in the world on Housewives. I hate it when women don't like the message delivered by somebody else's man, and they say things like, you can't get involved, you're a man, you can't talk to me that way, you're a man, you can't get involved in women's business, you don't have breasts, you can't speak, be a man, not a woman. All these insults are bogus. If a man is on camera at all, he has the right to speak. Just because you have the title of housewife does not entitle you to respect from a man, you have to earn it. If you are rude or you speak nonsense, it is okay for a man to call you out and point out your insanity on camera. You don't get to cry that you're being attacked just because the person contradicting your point of view of events happens to have a penis. It's not okay. Lots of housewives in lots of different cities try this excuse out, and it has never, ever been acceptable in my book. Now, if a man threatens a woman, that's one thing. But speaking is allowed. If you draw the man in, he gets to have his say. If you attack the man, he gets to defend, and that is the end of Atlanta this week. Next up, we have part 2 of the Beverly Hills reunion. Lisa Vanderpump is under attack from the ladies, and Andy Cohen is doing nothing about it. On Twitter, Hell Betty Angie asked me, why is Cohen not sticking up for Lisa? Betty, why would he? From Bravo's perspective, you can't let any one housewife feel invincible because they'll start making demands. No way would they let that happen. So this week, Carlton and Kyle had a back and forth about witchcraft and Judaism and intolerance. Here's my take. Religion in general helps people find comfort and a way forward. It seems like both Carlton and Kyle get that from their respective religions. They don't need to know every single little thing about each other's practices. Move on. Let's get to Kim versus Lisa. This was the most interesting part of the hour for me. I do think that Lisa, whether she is grabbing wine bottles out of Brandy's hands or saying, "Where's Kim? Did she not show up again? What did she do this time?" Those are ways of pointing out their deficiencies. Lisa does mask a dig as concern. She does it. It really happens. It's a slick way of playing the game, and she is not the only housewife who does it. But what Kim may not realize, or maybe we're just not seeing it on the show, is that everybody else has a hangover from Kim's addiction. The roughest road is seeing the destruction that you've caused once you're sober enough to actually take it in. Yes, you might not be drinking anymore, and that's awesome. But it doesn't make everyone automatically trust you. People will often continue to assume the worst of you because that is what they're used to getting. Kim might be mad that no one, including Lisa, takes her seriously. But Kim created that. The only thing that will fix that is time, and perhaps her being a little less eccentric. Yes, Kim did ask, "Is she drinking again?" Sometimes people say that about recovering addicts. Is it hurtful? Yes, it's very hurtful. It's awful. But people assume the worst because that's what they are conditioned to do, particularly on reality TV. You are dealing with a glass half empty group of people. Let's get on to Brandi Glanville. It has to be hard to go through clinical depression when you are shooting a reality show, particularly one that got as dark as this season did. Say what you want about her, but we have to give her some props for making it through in one piece and actually showing up to shoot the reunion. And congrats to her and to Kimye Moore for making the cast of Celebrity Apprentice this season. It will be interesting to see what these two ladies do when they are on camera without all the Housewives drama. Will they be any less hated? Will there be a change.org petition to fire them? Will it be personality rehab? Stay tuned. And now, New York. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we are ready for #Bookgate to die. But first, a few words in eulogy. If Carol had only kept her mouth shut, she would have won this war easily. All Carol had to do to win was just sit there and let Aviva continue to spout her crazy non sequiturs. But for me, Carol loses because she forgot what show she signed up for. Carol broke out in the reddest hives I have ever seen, and that's saying something. She was highly oversensitive, which was a fatal mistake. By getting so worked up about whether or not she wrote her books, Carol showed the cast and their producers her weak link. She expected respect, and she got attacked. Now, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. In any case, Carol was the lady who protested way too much. Not about the actual writing of the book, about the character defamation. Carol forgot, or perhaps she never knew, that character defamation is the name of the Housewives game. There are people who examine your life and identify what is most important to you in your life, and boom, they attack it hard. Being liked by Bravo does not make you immune. Just look at Lisa Vanderpump and Brandi Glanville this season. By showing how much she cares about her writing career, Carol actually invited the continued attacks. And I say, more fool her. If she'd laughed off the first digs and given the storyline no oxygen, it might have stopped there. But by completely freaking out, she gave Aviva and the producers lots more ammunition. Now, on the other hand, it could all be an act. Kathy Rabinowitz-Hirsch asked me this week whether Carol was told to get more interesting this season or else. It's possible. That might be how this whole storyline started, but Carol let it spin out of control fast. But let's get to Aviva. I think we can officially say that Aviva has turned into Kelly Ben-Simone. First, Aviva. It does not take a village to write a book. It takes an author to write a book. Perhaps two if you share a byline. But it's only a village if lots of people write it together. By her statements, Aviva gave away the situation with her book, and that is all I am going to say about who did or did not write what. Aviva went totally batty bananas when she started shouting things like, "At least I'm not 50. What's she gonna do when she actually turns 50, I wonder? And when did you last talk to the Kennedys? And all the other hateful nonsense that she spewed, I didn't even catch half of it. But moms of tween readers will get me when I ask, you know the Percy Jackson novels? You know how Mount Olympus moves around? Well, I think Scary Island is moving around, and I think it moved into Aviva's new house, don't you? Before we put New York to bed this week, I have to say that I feel bad for Kristen. She came across like a whiny baby this episode, and not only that, she's got the intro music of the pretentious violin strings of death, as we like to call them. Anytime Simon and I ever look like complete a-holes, it was preceded by that intro music. I swear in Shed Media's editing suite, they have that music flagged as the Let's Stitch People Up intro. Also this week, the first ever Housewives Awards were given out. My favorite was the Lifetime Achievement Award because really, who else but Vicki Gunvalson could win that? She is the only remaining original housewife. Good for you, Vicki. But wait, there's more. Lady Gaga did a video with Andy and some of the Beverly Hills Housewives. I haven't seen it, but 13 million people and counting on YouTube have. Did you watch it? What did you think? And finally, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are on the cover of Vogue. OMG. Has Anna Wintour completely lost her mind? Here's my take on it. I would respect this decision more because they are a lightning rod crazy couple that were probably texting her 24/7 until she caved. But last December, she yanked Miley Cyrus off the cover of Vogue because of her indecorous behavior. Now, Miley might be a walking wrecking ball of tongues and twerking, but she is no worse than Kimye. So I think the only thing Anna Wintour can do now is give Miley a cover. Why not? Thank you for watching this week. Let me know what you thought in the comments and your questions. For now, I am Alex McCord. You are watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. See you next time.